Tonight, after you finish this video, you'll probably check your bank app like it's harmless. Your paycheck came in, your card still works. The fridge has food, the lights turn on. Rent is not due until later, so your brain tells you, I'm safe, but that safety may be fake. Because one missed paycheck can turn a normal life into a survival problem. One medical bill can wipe out months of discipline. One rent increase can trap you in a room you can no longer afford. One bad week at work can make every subscription, every delivery order, every small purchase look like a piece of food taken from your future self. And here's why that matters. Money does not break people all at once. It starves them slowly. First, you stop saving. Then, you start carrying a balance. Then, you tell yourself it is temporary. Then, interest begins eating faster than you earn. The danger is not that you bought coffee. The danger is that your daily comfort can hide a system designed to drain you while you still feel normal. But here's the thing. When hunger shows up, morality, peace, patience, even personality can begin to disappear. History proves what desperation does to human beings. And the modern version is not always an empty stomach. Sometimes it is a full fridge, a job, a phone, and a bank account that cannot survive 30 days without new money. That is the terrifying truth about being broke. It does not just mean you have less. It means your choices shrink, your time gets sold cheaper, your fear gets louder, and if you do not understand the mechanism early, the life that feels comfortable today could kill your financial future. Before you even realize you are in danger, you are not in danger when life looks dramatic. You are in danger when the normal bill shows up, and your cash flow has no oxygen left. And here's why. The body starts panicking after hours without food. After a few days, the brain slows down. After a week, the body begins feeding on itself. Muscle disappears, judgment breaks. People see things that are not there. That means survival is no longer a theory, it is running the system. Money works the same way, just quieter. Miss one paycheck, and the damage does not always look like disaster. It looks like putting groceries on a credit card. It looks like delaying rent by 3 days. It looks like paying only the minimum because the electric bill came first. Then the next bill arrives. Then the fee hits. Then interest starts eating the future version of you. For most of human history, people lived hunt to hunt. No supermarket, no refrigerator, no farming for most of our existence. No backup plan. If the hunt failed, the tribe got closer to the edge. Archaeologists found that edge in caves across Europe, human bones mixed with animal remains, cut with the same butcher marks found on deer, horses, and bison. Skulls cracked open on purpose, the way ancient people opened bones for marrow. That was not culture being strange. That was hunger taking over. So now, look at your bank account. If every paycheck is already assigned before it lands, you are also living hunt to hunt. The hunt is your wage. The predators are rent, food, debt, insurance, and late fees. And if the hunt fails once, comfort turns ancient very fast. Now look at your paycheck again, not the big number at the top, the smaller number that actually lands in your account. That is where the danger starts. For years, people tried to explain the squeeze in nicer ways. Maybe you are just bad with money. Maybe you eat out too much. Maybe one subscription is the problem. Maybe you need more discipline. Anything except saying the obvious. The modern payment system is designed to cut your income into pieces before you can defend it. And here's why. Rent leaves first. Then insurance. Then the phone bill. Then the minimum payment on a card you barely remember using. Then groceries hit harder than last month. Then a small buy now, pay later charge arrives. Like a trap. You forgot you stepped in. Each one looks harmless alone. Together, they turn your paycheck into hunted prey. The data keeps pointing in the same direction. In the United States, Federal Reserve surveys have shown that many adults would struggle to cover a sudden $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. Credit card balances have climbed past the $1 trillion mark. Delinquencies are rising among younger borrowers. Overdraft fees, late fees, interest charges, installment plans. Different names, different apps, same pattern. Your income is processed before it becomes freedom. But here's the thing. This is not only happening to people who are lazy or reckless. It is happening to people with jobs, people with degrees, people who do everything normally. They work, get paid, pay bills, and still feel hungry by the third week of the month. That means the problem is not just spending. The mechanism is extraction. So now the question gets uglier. If your money disappears faster every year, is it because you are failing or because the system learned how to feed on your comfort? Without making it look like an emergency. And this is where it gets worse. You think the danger starts when your bank account hits zero. It doesn't. It starts earlier, when your paycheck arrives and you already know it is gone. Rent takes the first bite. The phone bill takes the second. Groceries, gas, minimum payments, overdraft fees, subscriptions you forgot to cancel. By Wednesday, you are not planning anymore. You are surviving. And here's why that matters. When money gets tight, your brain does not become more rational. It becomes trapped. Researchers have found that scarcity can consume so much mental bandwidth that people make worse financial decisions, not because they are stupid, but because their mind is under threat. One famous study linked financial stress to a temporary drop in cognitive performance, equal to losing a night of sleep. That means the bill on your table is not just a bill, it is pressure on your nervous system. So now the trap becomes brutal. You take a payday loan to avoid missing rent. That fixes Friday and a tax next month. You put groceries on a credit card. That keeps food in the fridge and adds interest to the balance. You pay the minimum because it feels responsible, but the balance barely moves. The machine smiles while you sink. But here's the thing. At some point, survival spending starts to look normal. You stop questioning the fee. You stop questioning the interest. You stop questioning why working full-time still leaves you one emergency away from panic. Just like desperate people in history turned crisis into ritual, modern consumers can turn financial pain into routine. Tap the card, split the payment, roll the balance, wait for payday, repeat. That is the terrifying part. Not that people make bad choices, that the system can train ordinary people to accept bad choices as the only choices available. And once that happens, your money is no longer building your future. It is just keeping you alive until the next bill arrives. So now, look at your own day, because the danger is not wearing armor and kicking down your door. It is sitting quietly inside your coffee order, your phone bill, your delivery fee, your rent increase, your credit card minimum payment. You feel normal because everyone around you is doing the same thing. Swipe, tap, subscribe, finance it, pay later. Different apps, different banks, different stores. Same brutal idea. Spend today's comfort with tomorrow's blood. And here's why that matters. A small bill does not feel like a threat. A $12 subscription feels harmless. A $38 takeout order feels like relief after a long day. A $79 monthly payment feels manageable because it is not $900 up front. But that is exactly how the mechanism works. It breaks danger into pieces small enough that your brain stops defending you. That means your paycheck can be attacked without you ever feeling the bite. One bill becomes automatic, then another, then interest joins in. Then fees arrive, then your rent rises. Then groceries cost more. Then your car needs repairs. And suddenly, the money you thought was yours was already claimed before it even landed in your account. But here's the thing. This is not just bad discipline. This is design. Banks, lenders, subscription companies, and payment platforms understand something ancient about human survival. When pressure hits, the brain chooses immediate relief over long-term safety. If you are tired, hungry, stressed, or ashamed, you are easier to sell to. You are easier to lend to. You are easier to trap, and the numbers prove it. In the United States, credit card balances have climbed past the $1 trillion mark. Many households carry debt at interest rates above 20%. That means a person can make payments every month and still barely escape the hole. They are not buying more freedom. They are feeding the interest. That is the terrifying part. The system does not need you to collapse. It only needs you to stay slightly behind. Slightly behind means you keep working. Slightly behind means you keep paying minimums. Slightly behind means one emergency can turn into panic. A medical bill, a missed shift, a broken transmission, a rent hike. One strike, and the comfort you built starts turning into a cage. History has always shown what happens when basic needs disappear. Hunger changes people. Desperation changes choices. Peace gets fragile when the pantry is empty. And in modern life, financial hunger works the same way. When your account is empty and the bill is due, morality does not disappear all at once. It gets negotiated. You borrow from the future. You ignore the statement. You take the loan. You tell yourself next month will be different. But next month arrives with the same predators waiting. This is why your daily spending is not small. It is a survival signal. Every automatic charge is either protecting your future or cutting into it. Every debt payment is either buying time or selling your labor back to someone else. Every paycheck is either building a wall around your life or being hunted before sunrise. Nature does not care that you meant well. The market does not care that you were tired. Interest does not care that you were stressed. Bills do not care that you deserve a peaceful life. They come anyway. And if you do not decide where your money goes, someone else already has. You feel safe because the payment went through. Your rent is on autopay. Your phone bill is on autopay. Your streaming services are quiet. Your credit card app says, minimum due $38. And for 1 second, it feels like control. But here's the thing. That number is not comfort. It is a trapdoor. Because the modern money system learned something brutal about you. You don't react to total cost. You react to monthly pain. So the price gets chopped into smaller pieces until it stops feeling dangerous. A $1,200 phone becomes only $33 a month. A $900 emergency becomes pay in 4. A $6,000 balance becomes minimum payment due. And here's why that matters. If your income arrives once or twice a month, but your bills attack you in tiny waves every few days, your brain starts treating survival as success. You stop asking, am I building wealth? You start asking, can I make it to Friday? That is the moment the system owns your decisions. Credit card companies know this. Buy now, pay later apps know this. Subscription businesses know this. They don't need to take all your money at once. They only need to take enough, often enough, that you never get traction. The numbers are not small in the US. Credit card interest rates have hovered around record highs, often above 20%. Overdraft and non-sufficient funds fees have drained billions from consumers in recent years, and the Federal Reserve has reported that a large share of adults would struggle to cover a sudden $400 expense without borrowing, selling something, or delaying another bill. Think about what that means. A normal paycheck can look healthy on payday and still be dead before the month is over, not because you bought one ridiculous thing, because your money is being eaten by small, scheduled bites. So now your bank statement becomes the evidence, not your mood, not your intentions, the evidence. Look at the last 30 days. Every little automatic charge is a footprint. Every interest payment is a leak. Every convenient installment is a rope tied around next month's income. And if your future paycheck is already promised to lenders, apps, and subscriptions, before it even arrives, that is not budgeting. That is financial captivity. And the terrifying part is this. You can adapt to it. You can get used to always being a little behind. You can get used to debt feeling normal. You can get used to paying fees and calling it life. That comfort is dangerous because it turns pressure into routine. In an older world, losing access to food or shelter meant immediate danger. Today, losing access to cash does the same thing more quietly. It kills your options. First, no savings means one car repair becomes a crisis. One medical bill becomes a credit card balance. One late paycheck becomes rent panic. One layoff becomes collapse. And suddenly, your everyday spending stops looking harmless. It starts looking like the battlefield, where your future is either protected or sold off in monthly payments. And here's the strangest part. The danger is not always the big purchase. It's the tiny, normal-looking leak you don't fear. The coffee after work, the delivery fee because you're tired, the streaming bill you forgot existed, the buy now, pay later button that feels harmless. Because it splits the pain into 4 pieces. On your bank app, it looks like comfort. In your real life, it is your future paycheck being eaten before it arrives. And here's why that matters. When your income is already trapped by rent, insurance, groceries, gas, debt payments, and minimum balances, one extra bill does not stay small. It pushes you closer to the edge. Then one emergency hits. A car repair, a medical bill, a missed shift. Suddenly, the peaceful version of your life disappears. You are not budgeting anymore. You are surviving. That is when the mechanism turns brutal. Poverty does not only mean having less money. It means every mistake costs more. A rich person pays a bill late and gets annoyed. A broke person pays it late and gets a fee. Then an overdraft. Then a higher interest balance. Then a damaged credit score. That damaged score makes borrowing more expensive. That means the same crisis costs you more than it costs someone with money. Comfort breaks. Options shrink. Pressure takes over. The data backs this up. Surveys from the Federal Reserve have shown that a large share of adults would struggle to cover a $400 emergency without borrowing, selling something, or using credit. That is not ancient history. That is happening inside modern paychecks, inside apartments, inside families who look fine from the outside. But here's the thing. Most people don't collapse because they are careless monsters with money. They love their kids, they work long hours, they try to keep life normal. They laugh at dinner, pay what they can, and tell themselves next month will be better. Then hunger shows up in a modern form, the empty account before payday. And under enough fear, enough debt, enough desperation, people make choices they never thought they would make. That is the real warning. Your money system must be built before survival mode starts. Because once survival takes over, peace gets expensive fast. You are not broke because one bill arrives. You are in danger because the danger is hidden inside normal life. The coffee you barely notice, the subscription you forgot, The credit card balance you keep rolling over. The paycheck that looks alive for 3 days and then disappears. And here's why. Modern comfort makes financial weakness feel harmless. Lights stay on, food arrives, your phone still works. But underneath that comfort, the old survival math is still running. Cash in, cash out. And if the gap turns negative long enough, your options start to die. The Federal Reserve has reported that many adults would struggle to cover a sudden $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. That is not just a statistic. That is the line between choice and panic. So now, the decision is simple. Stop asking, can I afford the payment? Ask, does this make me harder to kill financially? If the answer is no, cut it, delay it, renegotiate it, or pay it down. Because your paycheck is not protection. Your margin is. And if you do not build that margin while life is calm, the next emergency will make the decision for you.